Hello and welcome to tonight's workshop, which is all about you experiencing and immersing yourself into my world of being your coach, hence the name of it. I am your coach. So my intention for this workshop is for you to feel and to experience the learning and immerse yourself into the world of my one-on-one coaching. I want you to feel and love this energy. So to any of you that don't know me or might be new to my world, I am Natasha Clark, mindset and business coach for inspiring six-figure CEOs who want to grow a profitable and pleasurable business. I have worked with many of hundreds of incredible women that have built their business, they're making money in their businesses, but they want looking to scale it. And I've worked with so many women that are making money in their business, but they actually don't have the freedom. And let me tell you this, girls, what you want to do, and this is about you stepping into your CEO role, is really about leveraging what it is that's working within these three pillars. There is no point making 10, 15, 20K per month if you don't have any freedom in your life. There's no point. The money means absolute zero. You may think it will mean everything and it will give you freedom. It doesn't. We actually have to set these foundations now. Even if you're literally just starting off and you're just making a couple of thousand each month in your business, we want to really implement these kinds of things now, okay? And what I've noticed over the last 6 years of building my business is there's been a pattern. There's been a theme of every single kind of one-on-one client that I've had, that I've worked through. And hence why these are the three pillars that I know I work with. They're coming with CEO mindset. So let's say you're working on your mindset. There's a whole different mindset level. It's a complete different game when you actually want to then start to build and scale your business. Don't wait until you get to that point. I want you to start implementing that right now, okay? You don't have to wait until you're making 6, 7K in your business before you step into CEO role. No, you're here for a reason. And that's because you want to start doing this work right now. So with every client that was coming to me, the pillars we were working through was their mindset. More importantly, shifting that subconscious blocks, okay? The majority of the time, when we're working with our conscious part of our brain, you know what you need to be doing. You know that you have that potential to do more, to have more, to create more, but you're not doing it. And that's what causes the frustration. Now, if it was down to our conscious part of our brain, you'd already be at that level. Problem is, the conscious part of the brain's only 5%. We're working with the subconscious, which is the 95%, which is ruling the goddamn show. Now, if you don't have awareness around what those blocks are, or let's say you know that you're stuck, but you're not sure what it is that you actually need to be doing to move in it, great, you're in the right place, okay? So many clients come to me, lots of them very self-aware. They're like, yeah, I know this is blocking me. I know my money story. I know I really need to kind of level up when it comes to accessing this wealth, being able to hold this wealth. And then lots of my clients come to me and say, Tash, I know I'm stuck, but I'm not sure what actually is. So both of it works. So I'd love to know in the chat box where you feel you are right now. Like, do you feel like you have total self-awareness where you're like, yeah, Tash, I know exactly what's blocking me? Or do you feel like, no, I know I've got a block, but I'm not sure what that block is? And there is no right or wrong answer. Let me bring up the chat box. Okay. I have a block and I have a good idea what it is. Great. Okay, good. Total self-awareness, too much. Never too much. You can never have too much. My blocks are definitely shifting and shifted after working closely with you. Love my clients. Okay, so kind of like a mixed bag, right? And for all those that are going to be watching this on the replay, I will put it into the chat box, or you can actually just send me a DM with what's coming up for you. So a mix between, yes, you have some awareness around it, or if you don't. Okay. Then what we found was moving into, once you kind of shift the subconscious and you've done the block kind of work, then it's the strategy. Because I am the biggest believer in the biggest thing that will hold anybody back when it comes to success will be your mindset. 1,000,000% right? But once we've worked on that, if you actually don't know what the strategy is, and in tonight's session, what we're going to be working on is social media, actually like really kind of pinpointing your messaging. So we're going to be going into that, because if you've nailed the subconscious work, brilliant, but you actually don't know, you don't have clarity around what those next steps actually look like in order for you to strategically build the business and scale the business, then you're just going to stay stuck with where you are anyway. Okay. Then moves us into the third pillar, which is CEO system. And this really is having the support, the behind the scenes support. This is which I know lots of you follow me on Instagram. And this is probably what gave me the idea to really, I work with this with my one-on-one clients, but I had this download to actually share it with you guys, my audience, to be like, this is what goes on behind the scenes. Because unless you're in my one-on-one world, what you would just see was what you'll see on Instagram, or if you join my workshops. And you see me going for walks with Santiago, you see me working part-time, you're like, oh my goodness, how the hell is she having a successful business yet still having a life, right? Because I know I did. When I first started my business and I was looking at other people on social media, I was like, how the hell are they able to do both? How the hell are they making that much money? And yet it doesn't even look like they're not working. And I'm not here to promote, I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't do any work. I just spend my time doing whatever I want. No, I do work. Right? I do work to build my business, absolutely, for sure. But what I'm going to teach you is the system and the support I have behind the scenes. So I'm kind of going to give you, like, peel back the curtain, if you will, to what actually goes on, so that when I am out in the park with Santiago, how I'm able to serve my clients, how my social media is still converting, how the systems behind, if I put an offer out there, how someone can buy and receive emails from me and get the content without me even having to know that I have signed a client. So yesterday, great example, I signed a one-on-one client. I didn't know until an hour after she'd actually signed up. That's because of the systems that are going on behind the scenes. I don't need to be there literally physically in my business, because what I do know is the whole reason, or one of the main reasons, I shall say, why you started this business and why you're building this business is for freedom. Emotional freedom, financial freedom, physical freedom, like freaking freedom. It's not to be chained to your laptop or chained to your desk. I mean, if that was the case, you might as well stay working 9 to 5, because it probably would have been less stress and less work for you. That's not the reason why you've done this. So I want to kind of share with you what goes on behind the word freedom in order to create the freedom. Okay, sound good? Just give me some nods so I can see everyone's beautiful faces. Perfect. Okay. Brilliant. I'm just going to get my notes up so I can make sure that I stay on track, because when I was actually going through and reviewing this, I was like, this probably could be 3 masterclasses, but to Tasha style, I was like, no, going to give it all. So what I'd like you to do, so we're going to start with CEO mindset, okay? Put into the chat box what you truly desire. If there was no limitations, no judgment, this is a safe space for you to just say what your heart wants to say. What do you truly desire? Okay, I don't know which is part of my block. Absolutely. If we don't have clarity around what it is, how do we expect to achieve it? So if for example, you say, look, do you know what? I would love to have freedom, which means I'm working 3 days a week. I'm making 10K cash a month, which means that I can serve X amount of clients. You know, you have to have clarity around that, because then you've got to think about, let's use money as an example. Money wants direction. So if you want money and you want to have that, well, what's the reason that you want the money? Where is it actually going to go? And I remember when I was first starting my business and I wanted to get to the 6-figure mark, right? It was like, you know, it was like the holy grail, get to the 6 figures, like that, especially when I first started my business. It was like, that's where you want to get to. So I would sit down and journal and break down what I would do with every single pound of that money that would came in. I knew what I paid VAT, I knew what I paid tax, I knew what I paid myself, I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of that money, how much I wanted in overflow Like this is when I was starting my business. I was in debt. I didn't have any of this, but I was sitting there visualizing what it would feel like to have that. I had direction for that. So we want to make sure that we have real clarity around what it is that we want. And also unapologetically own it. I want to make 6 figures, own it. I want to make multi 6 figures, own it. I want to make 7 figures, own it. Like, you've got to sit and own that. That's where we're heading towards. That's the reason why you're here, right? I have freedom to bring in a passive income and leave my day job, and I've done it. We're making a plan to do it again. Brilliant, right? Let's get some clarity around what those numbers look like. I had a light bulb moment today, which brought me into exactly this. Even posted about it on my Insta. Amazing. Okay, good. So you want to get some clarity. So what if I was to say to you that, let's say that your goal was, and obviously the reason why you're here is to make 6 figures, okay? When I actually say that to you, what comes up for you? I want you to write in the comment box, what's the belief that comes up for you about you making 6 figures? Or multi-6, up to you. Sometimes it's really good when you're thinking about this to close your eyes. And the first thing that comes to mind, that's what I want you to write down. Don't try and second guess it or overthink things. The first thing that will come to mind is what your subconscious is saying. Okay, fear. I think I want it, but how? Yep. What's that limiting belief that's coming up for you, that why you can't make that 6 figures? Why you're not there yet? Good. Now, what this is, everything that you've said, everything that you're thinking is fear. That's what's coming up. And fear isn't something to be scared of. Sounds really strange, but it's actually not. Fear is just a version of yourself. It's just something we call, what I coach my clients, a self. Okay. So you've probably heard of things like higher self. You've heard of your inner child. You've heard of your current self. When we're thinking about things, when they crop up, for like fear, lack of confidence, self-worth, these are versions of yourself, and we don't want to repel them or tell them off like a naughty child. If anything, we actually want to welcome them in, because all they're trying to do is keep you safe. They're trying to protect you. They are working on the belief systems that you have been conditioned with from the ages of 0 to 7. So it's only your subconscious mind is only doing what it thinks it's meant to do to keep you safe, right? So what we don't want to do is judge ourselves for having these limiting beliefs. Okay, if anything, what we want to do is detach away from that limiting belief being you. You are not fear. Okay, so when you hear people say, I'm struggling, you're not struggling. You are experiencing struggle, and then there's you. What happens is you take on that identity, something you are experiencing and you are feeling, i.e. fear, you take that on. I am fearful. That's when that belief becomes so ingrained into who you are. I was speaking about this the other day. I think, was it on a live or one of my Insta posts, when I was talking about people that procrastinate. I'm a procrastinator. No, you're not. I'm the coach. I'm calling you out. You're absolutely not a procrastinator. You may have experienced times where you have procrastinated, but you are not a procrastinator. Okay. So as soon as we're able to detach away from our identity being a behavior, that's when we're able to change it. So when we think about you right now in the beliefs that you have got, that's exactly what is keeping you stuck from the 6 figures. Okay. That's exactly what it is. And I don't want this to be a, oh my goodness, my mindset is so shook, like what the hell? Instead, I want it to be like, wow, I'm the problem, to guess what? You're the solution. We can, I don't like to use the word fix, we can develop, we can create a growth mindset, which is actually what's going to get you to six figures. From doing this for 6 years and the biz besties that I've got and the incredible successful women that I've been able to surround myself with, the common denominator of success is belief. It isn't strategy, right? And I'm a business coach. I'm going to call it how it is. It isn't strategy, because if strategy was the reason for success, everybody would be successful. And why are they not? Why do I have clients that are hugely successful running ads? And I've got other clients that are hugely successful doing organic strategy. If it was the strategy, everyone would be successful, okay? It's the belief systems, and that's what we need to work on, right? Let me just read some of the comments. Exactly. No, you're not. You're not a procrastinator. You have to really believe it's not just say or think. No, this is the thing with subconscious work. This mindset work can have this belief that I just need to say some affirmations that I'm a CEO and I'm a badass and I'm a six figure and then everything's fine. No, it's actually not. That's why we work with the subconscious mind. We go deeper than the surface stuff. The tools of meditation and affirmations and journaling are extremely important. And this is exactly what I embody and I teach my clients. But what needs to happen first is the subconscious work. We need to get to the root of the beliefs that you have, where they're coming from and how we're able to shift that. And now when it comes to your subconscious mind, it doesn't work the same as the conscious part of your brain. That's why affirmations are really, really powerful when you've done the subconscious work. If not, they literally just fall on deaf ears and you're like, I don't understand, Tash. I'm doing 1,000 affirmations a day. I'm journaling about my vision, my perfect day. I've done the vision boards. I'm meditating for an hour a day. Why is this not working? And it's because you need to go deeper. It's when, I don't want to get into too much of the science of this, but everything, the way we think is all programmed, okay? You have neuro pathways that are so used to thinking the way you do, which is creating the reality that you're experiencing right now, which is not having that success, not having the freedom, not having the finances, right? To the level that you want it. I know you're making money in business, but to the level that you desire it to be, it's not there yet because it's an energetic mismatch. Where you're thinking to where you actually want to go, where your higher self is already achieving all of this. She's already achieved the money, the success in business, and you're not. It's because it's an energetic mismatch. So we need to work on a subconscious level to get there, right? So when it comes to subconscious mind, like literally, when I work with my clients, we have like an hour's call just to work on like a subconscious block that's coming up, and like it's a game changer having just a box like in between calls, because sometimes when you've had a call, there's so much that comes up between that call and your next call that I don't want you to be waiting in limbo. I want you to be able to like shift through. This has come up for me, Tash. Literally jump into Boxer, send a voice note, and then we can work through it. So I'll try and kind of give you a glimmer into experiencing this in the time that we've got together, but I'm trying to be really mindful of the time because we've got so much to get through. So, okay. When you hear about someone making six figures, what do you instantly think and feel? Put that in the chat box. Don't overthink it. Put it straight into the chat box. There's no judgment. There's no positive or negative. It's just a thought. Okay. You think, well done, amazing, great. You think, never for me. Yeah. They must have had to work really, really hard to get there. Yes. Envious, but good on them. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. And these are all incredible. I'm so glad that you girls are totally getting on board and just letting, it's kind of like word vomit. You're just letting the subconscious mind come out and say what it is, because then we're going to be able to shift these. Okay. So when you think about you not making the six figures, what is the main feeling that you feel? Not thought. When you think about the fact that you are not making six figures, what is the dominant feeling that you are experiencing when you think about that? Okay. So what's that main feeling that you feel that you're not making the six figures? Okay. So relief, really interesting. And this comes up a lot with my clients because it's something that's called a secondary gain. So what that means is we want something, but there'll be a secondary gain for us actually not going for it. I'll give you an example. I had a client coming to me and she wanted to get her business to 5K cash months. Okay. And when we were doing the work through it, she was so clear and she had so much clarity around why she wanted the money, where it wanted to go. And she was feeling stuck on why she wasn't achieving it. When we actually done the work, what transpired was she was scared to make the money because she felt that she would then disempower her husband, who has always been the breadwinner of the family. And he loved that. He loved being able to give to the family. That was like their roles. So she felt it was going to change the dynamic of her marriage. Now, this is huge. Now, we don't sometimes realize that these kind of pesky limited beliefs that are coming up, that there's always a secondary gain to this. To us, it makes perfect sense. I remember when I was doing my business, something that kept me stuck for so long, the secondary gain was I didn't want to get caught out by the tax man. And what I mean by that is when I was modeling, making pretty good money, I was spending pretty good money. I wasn't one of those sensible Sallys that was putting away for the tax man. I was like, oh, it was fine. I'll just get another big modeling job and I'll be able to pay it. That never came. So when the tax man came, the fright, the feeling of, I just went into survival mode. I was like, oh my goodness. So I carried that. I wasn't able to shift that. I didn't have mindset coaches then that were available to do this at that point. So when I came into my business, that was a massive block that I was so unaware of. I had no idea until I worked with my one-on-one coach that was something that was keeping me back. And even then creeped on to then when we started, we went over the VAT threshold, then it was like, now I've got to pay VAT. Oh my goodness. That was then a whole different thing that I had to kind of work through, right? Because I felt like I'd be unprepared. I'd be caught out again. I'd experience that survival mode again. What if I lose it all? If I haven't saved the money and put away, I'm going to lose everything. So there's always going to be a secondary gain into some things that our subconscious mind wants to keep us safe. I used to believe that my family would think I'm too big for my boots. Yes, that comes up so much. Not wanting to talk about the money that you make. Not wanting to say, oh, I want to make 6 figures. We should be really grateful for what you've got. Money doesn't grow on trees. You know, what you can't work the hours you do and possibly make the money you do, right? All of this is going to be so conditioned into you, your social media. It's going to be the reasons why you're not showing up for your clients, why you're not showing up on social media, maybe potentially why you do or do not speak about money, and not that you need to. You don't have to be someone that goes, I made this much money today. There's plenty of other ways in which you can show abundance and how successful your business is doing without actually showing your bank account balance. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you do, freaking go for it. You absolutely can. So now I want you to feel that feeling, okay? That feeling that the most prominent feeling. And now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to pretend that feeling is in front of you. That feeling that you're feeling of it's never going to happen, whether it's frustration, anger, sadness, whatever that feeling is, I want you to see that feeling in front of you. And I want you to see that feeling as a person that's in front of you. When you see that person, just give me a nod. Keep your eyes closed, but just give me a nod when you can see that person in front of you. And I want you to look at what that person is wearing. What is their demeanor like? And I want you to name that person. Okay? Good. By naming this person, this self, it's detaching away from you. Remember what I said to you? You're experiencing this feeling, this emotion that's stuck. That's all it is. That's why it feels so real for you. But you are not that feeling. And I want you to ask that feeling, how old do you think I am? And see what that says back to you. Now, I want you to actually tell that feeling, that self, actually how old you are. Now that feeling, whatever the name is that you have called it, is trying to protect you. And in the majority of scenarios, that version of yourself, that emotion, thinks that you are younger. And that age that's come up for you there'll be a pivotal moment that has felt stuck for you. It could have been a situation, a story, like, for example, how I can remember about the tax situation. Okay, there'll be something where there's stuckness that we need to move through from that. Okay, and I want you to look, the fact her demeanor, I say her because that's who I envision, the age, you are older and wiser. And I want you to tell that version of yourself that you are in control. And I want you to tell that version of yourself, tell them what you know to be true as an adult that you are right now. Tell them. Tell them what you know to be true now as an adult. Good. Great job. Now keep your eyes closed. And I want you to pause the feeling. I want you to pause the feeling in your body. That feeling of frustration, anger, upset, whatever that feeling was for you, disappointment, fear. And I want you to create it for 3 seconds. I want you to feel the sensation in your body. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. This shows me that the tab's open. Now I want you to mark on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the most potent, powerful feeling ever, and 0 being you feel nothing. And I want you to mark it out of 10. And I want you to put into the chat box right now, so we've got a marker of how prominent that feeling is, that sensation, and where it is in your body. So we need to mark it out of 10, and I want you to put into the chat box where in your body you feel that feeling. Yeah, okay, great. Good. Now it's close your eyes again. And if what I say doesn't make sense to you, it's okay. I'm not talking to you or your conscious part of your brain. I'm bypassing that and I'm talking to your subconscious. I'm tapping into your subconscious. Now, I want your subconscious to tell me a visual abstract design, what that looks like, that has been representing the way mind has been perceiving this emotion. Okay, so I want you to bring to mind a visual abstract design. This is the way the subconscious mind has been processing this emotion. Is it black, white, gray, or color? Okay, good. Put that into the chat box. Is it black, white, gray, or color? And if it was a color, which color is it? Is it a texture? What shape is it? Don't second guess it. The unconscious mind speaks in visuals. It knows the answer. Purple triangle, black, black and white swirly lines. Yes. Black, smooth. So it's a visual of the way your mind has been processing the data that's going on. So that emotion that you've been feeling, subconscious mind doesn't understand the words. It understands in visuals. So when you were feeling that feeling, Susan, what visual came to mind for you? Cheap, shape, fuzzy, yeah. Good. And was it blurry or was it clear? Great, great work. Now I want you to think about the transformation, to think about you feeling clear, to think about you not being triggered by this emotion. And I want you to think about if that color was a if that transformation was a color, what color would that transformation be? That transformation of you feeling clear, done, shifted. What would that color be? The color of expansion, of clarity, of knowingness. White, red, yes. Blue sea, yes. Yellow, amazing. Blue sea, I love the Pacific of that, love that. Good. Now, what wild animal, plant, or flower would represent this transformation? A wild animal, plant, or flower that would represent this transformation. Roses, yes. Sunflower, yes. Love this. Lotus, pond lily. Yes, Becca, love this. Love this. Great. Okay. Now I want you to pick a scent that this would represent this transformation. What is that scent? Absolutely, Lily. Give me a butterfly. Yeah. Lavender, yes. Fresh cut grass, yes. Girls, you're nailing this. I'm very good at being able to give you examples, but your subconscious mind has absolutely mastered this, because this is exactly what the visuals, the sense that the unconscious mind is seeing, feeling, thinking. Brilliant. Okay, cotton fresh. Yes, I love that. Outdoor fresh too. Outdoor fresh scent. Yes, sage. Yes, girls, amazing. Okay, good. Now I want you to take a nice deep breath in. At the top, I want you to think the word release, and I want you to blow out. I want you to blow out as if you were pretending you're blowing out into a straw, and go. Good. Out and again. Take a nice deep breath in. At the top, I want you to see your color transformation. I want you to see that color transformation. And again, as you breathe out, exhale out into the straw, think the word clear. Amazing. Good. Now take a nice deep breath in. At the top now, I want you to see your visual that you had at the start of this activation. And I want you to see that visual go blurry. And as you breathe in, and at the top, you see this visual. As you exhale out, as you are breathing through that straw, I want you to pretend the more you breathe, the longer you can exhale out for, the smaller, the blurrier, the unclear that visual gets. It clears and it's gone. Take a nice deep breath in. Good. See the visual in front of you. Now a deep exhale out, breathing through a straw as long as you possibly can. Keep going, keep going. As you are, the visual is clearing. It's gone. Clear, clear, clear. Good, good. Nice deep breath out. Perfect. Keep going as long as you can go, as long as you can go. Good. Excellent. And again, take a nice deep breath in. Really feel the expansion. Your shoulders are relaxing. Your jaw is unhinged. Your frown is nice and relaxed. Your whole body feels relaxed. Good. And at the top, think the word release. And exhale out. Good. And I want you to smell that scent. That scent that you pick, the lavender, the sage, the fresh cotton, the freshly cut grass, whatever your scent was, I want you to feel it. And as you feel it, wherever you felt that emotion before that was stuck, I want you to start to feel the tingling, whether it be in your stomach, in your chest. I want you to really feel it relax down. It's all starting to clear. Just as if you were to look at a dirty bowl of sink water that's like grimy, it's been left there for days. I want you to pretend that you're taking out the plug. And as you're taking out the plug, all that stuckness is starting to clear through. The water's swirling round, it's clear and it's gone. And as it's swirling down, things are becoming clearer for you. You're feeling more open. You feel the expansion. You're able to breathe more easily, flow more easily. And you take a nice deep breath in, feeling the scent. See your color transformation. Exhale out, thinking the word release. Good. When you're ready, I'd like you to open your eyes. And now I'd like you to try and cause that emotion. Try and see that visual that you saw at the start of this activation. What has changed? Tell me in the chat box. Has it reduced? Has it shifted? Has it cleared? Has it gone? Don't know if that's meant to say. It's reduced lots. I can't really see it at all right now. It's moved. Moving not so strong. It felt like I couldn't think it. Yes. It's hard to say, but I feel cold now. I can't see the image clearly. Yes. Smiling and winking at me as it's saying, well done, you've got this. Yes. I love that. Oh, that just gives me a tingle. Yes, exactly. The power of rapid resolution therapy. Absolutely. Yes. I love this. Okay, good. Right. So that was just like a little taster. Now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to CEO strategy. And in this, we're going to be diving into your messaging and why it's important. There's different types of content that I teach. I teach authoritative, inspirational, educational, and embodiment. Okay. And the one I'm going to touch upon today is embodiment. Now, why your content so important? Your content is important because it builds trust. It builds the know, like, and trust factor, and it builds connections. It builds a community. Okay. See your content, your social media, to be the shop window of your business. You are the face behind that brand. So your social media has to show that, okay? It has to transport your messaging, your values, why it is that you do what you do, your transformation, everything that's about you and your business, that is what your social media about, okay? So I want to give you some examples of what I see with my clients of why when your messaging isn't landing, okay, and why. This is so important. So get your pen and paper, write some notes down, because I think it'll be really useful for you to then go away and actually do the work on your own Instagram. I'm actually going to do, I'm going to pull up a hot seat, and I'm actually going to do yours live for you on this workshop. So when your messaging isn't landing and why. If you're not clear on your ideal client, understanding where they are at their journey, then it's not going to work. So I'll give you an example. I spent so long talking to the struggle, but guess what was happening? I was attracting people in the struggle that were unwilling to move and take action. So no amount of inspiration, no amount of motivation is actually going to make somebody move, okay? If somebody is stuck in victim mode, they're stuck in their current situation, not being able to see out, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to try and make them move, okay? So you have to be crystal clear on who it is that your ideal client is, right? And I remember quite recently I was working with a client, and she was one of my 1.5 month clients that came in to work with me. And she, when they jumped on their first kickoff call, it's like, okay, what do you want to work on? They said, definitely don't need to work on our ideal client. Like, we've absolutely nailed that. I'm like, okay, cool, brilliant. What do you want to work on? So we're working through that. Anyway, we got into the content creating, and we were working through, we've done the subconscious blocks around it. So then we were working on the strategy. And I was like, okay, so I was looking at their content, I was asking questions about it, and they found it quite difficult to answer the questions. And what they said to me is, Tash, what we've learned from just working with you for a week is that we actually don't really know our ideal client. And they laughed, and they're like, funny, the thing I said we didn't need to work on, we actually do need to work on. And why this is so funny is this: people think, and I'm not saying this is, well, I kind of am saying this is important. It's not important if you don't know what your ideal client's perfume she wants to put on, okay? It's not important if you don't know what she wears, right? That's not what's important. What's important to know about your ideal client is where, I'm going to say she because that's mine, where she is in her journey, how she's thinking, how she's feeling, internally, externally, where she is right now, where she wants to get to. That Being able to put all that into your messaging is what's going to convert your audience into paying clients. Simple. Knowing what goddamn perfume she wears, you're not, unless you're selling perfume, it doesn't matter. Okay. Yes, you can get a visual. Like when I'm creating content, I'm thinking about one ideal dreamy client in mind. So when I'm thinking about her, I'm writing content for her. When I'm brainstorming ideas, I've got her in my mind. I'm thinking about the things that are keeping her up at night. I'm thinking about things where she wants to get to, internally, externally. I'm seeing it as if I'm on a fly on the wall with her. That's what I'm talking about when you've done your ideal client work. If you haven't done that level of work, that is obviously starting with the mindset. That's the next step it needs to be, because it doesn't matter, girls, if you show up every single day, doing 3 reels a day, if you are too vague, too broad, not speaking to your ideal client, not speaking to actually where she is right now in her journey, it's not going to work. And you're just going to exhaust yourself posting for the sake of posting without any return on investment, with your energy, with money coming into the business, with the whole thing. Okay, so that's really, really important. Another thing that I see when the messaging is not converting is when you're not speaking to your dreamy ideal clients, okay? And instead you're speaking and reverting back to your old ideal client, because you're like, well, that's just really easy. Like I know I want to help her be happier. I mean, that's just too vague in itself. What the hell does happier mean to your ideal client? Because guess what? I could speak to Laura, her ideal client, her happiness, her ideal client's very different to, let's say, Susan. Michelle, your ideal client, and what she's struggling with and where she's in her business is going to be very different to Leanne's. Like, everyone's is going to be very different. You have to be the expert of that. You've got to know your ideal client inside out. You've got to know. And when I see my clients reverting back, you've all done it, when you revert back to old ideal client, there's some blocks there. You feel scared that you can't actually show up as that expert and teach at that level. You think, oh, I can only just help this person rather than this person. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a business coach and you're helping somebody get to 6 figures, right? Their pain points are going to be very, very different to someone that's starting off in their business. You know, like I mentioned to you when we talk about the struggle, and where I was talking so much about how my situation, how I was in debt and how I was in victim, I was attracting more people into my world at that level. So, but that's not who I wanted to help. So you have to be crystal clear on who it is that you want to help and go after that ideal client. Your messaging has to align with her core values of her pleasure points, so she feels heard and seen by you. Okay, that's what stops the scroll. Okay, next thing, you are not seen as the expert or the go-to person. This all comes about embodiment. If you're not embodying what it is that you sell, because we're all selling transformations, that's exactly what you need to get that straight into your head. That's everybody's selling is transformation. You need to be able to embody that. Okay. Another thing, they don't trust you. They don't trust you yet. So what you want to do, that's how people buy. You think about the reason why everybody is on this workshop right now. You trust me to whatever degree. There's a level of trust. Where's that built from? Social media. None of you knew me personally. I'm like, yeah, I know Tash. Everybody would have met me from seeing, even if it's one post, and loved the energy and jumped on, whatever that may be. Everything came from the social media. So when you're thinking about building that trust, okay, to get somebody to do it, you want to think about the social proof. You want to think about the embodiment of transformation. How can you get your audience to trust you more? That's a question that I want you to be journaling on tonight. Think about who you buy from and why you buy from them. Let's say you just bought something from TikTok, right? You know, the new TikTok shop. Why did you buy it? Okay. When I think about, I bought the Silkaberry, okay? It's like the lazy girl curl. I mean, I'm her ideal client. I don't have time to curl my own hair. I'm not a girly girl. I won't sit there for hours. Wish I was. It's not going to happen. Too busy. So guess what? This person created a Silkaberry where basically you wash your hair, you quick rough dry it. I'm not here to sell this, but I'm just giving you an example. And you go to bed, your hair wakes up, everyone goes to me, oh my God, Tash, where did you get your hair done? It's salon worthy. It's incredible. It's the best, I don't know, £35, £40 I've ever spent in my goddamn life. I trusted the person, okay? So that's what you've got to think about. Why would your audience trust you? And the best way to look at that is why you trust people. Think about why you're on this workshop right now. Why do you trust me? Actually, say it in the chat box. Tell me in the chat box, what made you trust me to come onto this workshop? Whether you saw me once or you've followed me for absolute years. because this will give you a good insight as into why people will trust you and why people trust other people. Yes, Samantha. But before you worked with me, Samantha, think about the reason why you took that step to work with me. What was that? I just bought that silk robe because I trusted you. There you go. What a great example. You're relatable. Yep. Amazing. Followed you for a while and been chatting to Laura. Yep. Social proof. Followed you for years, bought a course off you last year, and I know you get results from you. Amazing. First conversation before coaching. Exactly. So think about that. So think about how you then can put that out to your audience. Okay. Brilliant. Now, another thing when your messaging is not landing is too big a picture. You're being too broad, too vague. Okay. It doesn't land. Your audience will not feel connected to you. They won't feel understood by you. They won't feel heard by you. You know, I used that example before when you're using the word like, you know, happier. It's so vague. Like, what does that actually mean? You know, even when we think about mindset, that's also quite vague. You want to be speaking to your ideal client, like what my ideal client's mindset and what the things I want to teach and educate on will be very different to somebody else's. So you have to nail that. Because I'm fucking inspirational and honest and real. Yes, I love that. Exactly. People buy people. It isn't just what I sell. The reason why people trust you is because they want to see you. And this is going to be really beneficial when I then start to do a review on one of your Instagrams, because you'll see what I mean when it comes to people want to see the people behind the brand. We're not talking about a Starbucks, okay? Nobody cares about, well, it's not that they don't care, but they're buying the coffee. We are personal brands. People are buying us. So it's so important that they see us, they feel us, they connect with us. We're people, don't ever forget that. Yeah, so what you want to do then is you want to get into the details of that, okay? So when you know your ideal client that well, honestly, creating content is so easy. So easy. When you know her pain points, her pleasure points, you know where she wants to get to. Like, you literally could be a fly on the wall with her. You're speaking to her. You're speaking to her soul. She knows what you mean, okay? And that's the level you want to get to. So don't ever bypass the ideal client work. It's something actually I was working with a client with today. We're digging into this, and she's been in business years. We're digging more into this. I do research work for my ideal client every week. I'm always continuously adding to what I like to call my clarity worksheet, where I'm constantly adding new stuff of like my pain points, my pleasure points of her. Okay. So when we talk about embodiment, you can master these with some of the things, the pointers that I was just explaining, by showing your audience what is possible. Okay. You want to show that you practice what you preach. It's all well and good talking about an amazing journal, let's say, but if they're not actually seeing you embody using the journal, but not just that, but embodying what the journal stands for, they're not going to buy it. Okay. Think about if I am talking about freedom, but I'm not actually embodying it, who's going to trust me? They're going to be like, well, I see Tasha, she's chained to her laptop. So sorry, that's not freedom. Okay. I'm not actually embodying what it is that I say I'm going to do. If I'm talking about building a profitable, pleasurable business, well, guess what? I'm not embodying it if I'm not actually enjoying what I'm doing. Okay. So it's so important. So anytime that you are posting, I want you to think and ask yourself this: how is this connecting with my ideal client? Bring them along with the journey with you. I want you to see your social media as your business. Okay. If you want to have a personal Instagram, absolutely do, right? But everything that you are posting on your stories and on your feed, it needs to be for your business. It needs to be for your clients, for them to get something about it. There's going to be elements that we put in when I work with my one-on-one clients. There's elements that we filter in and like kind of pepper in between posts and like stories and stuff to kind of show you as an expert. But it's so important that you're always asking yourself, how's this connecting with your client? So to give you an example, when I am posting that I've gone to the park and spending the day with Santiago, right, and I'm signing clients, I'm showing my audience how you can run a successful business, sign clients, love what you do, but also love your son and want to be with your son having freedom. Okay. Another great example is when I'm in a business meeting for my second business, I run two businesses, and I'm embodying what it is to have freedom that enables me to run two businesses and still be at home with my son. Okay, so can you see what I mean about embodiment? It's so, so important. So I want you to ask yourself, what post can you do today, depending when you watch this, maybe tomorrow, an embodiment piece of content that shows them, your audience, that you practice what you preach, that you live out the transformation that you sell. What could that be? Actually, put it into the chat box right now so you can keep yourselves accountable. What could that piece of content be? And I don't mean that every time you post something, you can go, oh, this is because I've got freedom, or this is because I embody what I do. No, like you want to pepper it in and make sure that you're being clear. So something that I might say is, well, I think it's very clear that when I was out for pumpkin picking, everybody knew that I was out pumpkin picking, my Insta stories. And then I shared that a client had DM'd me saying I'm in. She was a new 3-month one-on-one client, dreamie powerhouse. So I shared that. So then you could see, well, how come she's out pumpkin picking and she's signing clients? How is that working? Right. So I'm embodying what it is that I sell. I talk about the systems that are running behind the scenes. I talk about my core values of how it's so important that I have freedom and also attract people in, and how you don't have to be chained to your laptop. Okay. So can you see the embodiment piece there? Okay. A miracle morning practice and my stand proud with love journal. Yes, but how are you embodying that? That's what they're going to care about. Okay. How you're embodying that. So what could be an embodiment piece that you can actually post tonight or tomorrow? Okay, so then what that means, and Michelle, is we just need to do some work around that. Maybe you just feel, is it a mindset block around you actually embodying what the transformation that you sell, or is it more of a strategic thing that you just kind of need help with, like mapping out what that could look like? I did this one today about my daughter having a tantrum and how I found it difficult, but was able to reflect afterwards and remove the shame and felt, yes, yes, yes. I love that. A post of my setup, maybe. Do you mean like your morning setup? I'm presuming that's what you mean. Yeah. And not a share of personal stuff too much. Okay, but you can decide, nor am I, in regards to, I don't ever share Santiago's face, ever. But I make it very clear that Santiago, I have a son and he's in my life every single day. So you can decide. You rarely see my husband. He's not really into social media, but he's so goddamn funny. I have to sometimes just put him up and deal with the wrath afterwards. So you can decide what you share on social media. It's it's your business, it's your life. It's up to you what you do. So there's elements that you can be sharing of your personal life. So for example, sometimes I share on stories and you won't see my face, but my message is still potent. I'm still delivering to you, and you're still feeling that on big presence from me, but it might not just be me talking to camera. Okay, so you can be smart. Okay, perfect. So now what I want to do is I'm going to share my screen. Perfect. Yes. So we can do a hot seat. So I'm just going to share my screen. Hold on. Perfect. So we're going to dive into seasons. So amazing. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I did make some notes, but I'm just gonna try and just go with it. Okay, get your pen and paper ready. Yeah, perfect. Okay, just making sure she was on. So first thing, this is not searchable. Okay, so you want to think about what it is that you do. So the author may be searchable, but it will be when the book, like for example, someone may search the secret book. Okay, so what could be searchable? What is it your title? What do you want to be known for? That's what somebody's going to search. Okay, because when you do the search engine on Instagram, that's exactly what it is, a search engine. So if you put up mindset and business coach, well, guess what? As you scroll down, I'll come up. Not everybody's going to know our names, okay? Unless you're Kim Kardashian or Oprah, then people are going to know to search that name. But when you think about when we're a personal brand and we're growing businesses, I mean, even people that are wildly successful, not everybody would know to like search Carrie Green, okay? Or Gabby Bernstein. Not everybody would know that, but they would put in what they actually do to coach, okay? So that's what you want to think about, making that SEO searchable, because that is what's searchable, this bit here, okay? I like the fact you've got the link. Here, I'm just not like, it's not crystal clear to me who it is that you serve and what you do. So as soon as somebody comes onto your page, instantly you've got 5 seconds to hold them. You've got 5 seconds before they're then gone and found somebody else. So this needs to get them. This needs to be like, oh my goodness, this is exactly who I am, right? Love these. I love the consistency of this. What I think what's coming through, which I know that you did say on your form, that you don't have clarity around probably who it is, probably haven't nailed your niche completely. Now I think that's coming out in your content, and I think that's probably why you're finding it. I know you say you don't love social media, but what happens is we put a block up there, right? 2 things: mindset. There might be a mindset of being seen, the visibility, whatever that may be. On the other side to it is the clarity around, well, I don't know who I serve. I don't know what my transformation is. Maybe there's no mapped out program of the transformation. So of course, that's so hard to then pluck ideas out for content, because we're just not clear on that. So I feel like the first roadmap would be getting that clarity around that. Another thing you want to think about is hooks. That's what's instantly gonna, unless somebody knows you, and the way our mind works, we're probably more likely to click onto this because it's a person we've got interest. But what would be really interesting is, what is this actually about? Okay, it's a bit about who you are. Well, great, that's what the hook needs to be. And I'd actually pin that at the top. So if I give you an example, everyone can still see my screen, yeah? I know sometimes when you swap over, can you see my Insta now? Yeah, okay, perfect. Can you see how I pin these? So instantly, who Natasha is. I do a powerful little exercise, showcase me as the expert, and then what conscious coach is, because that's what I was selling at the time, right? And when I talk about hooks, I'm talking about these. These are the things, is what makes people jump, stop waiting for success. Oh my God, yeah. Here, I'll try to be really creative, and like this popped off, this theme, that one. But I made it relevant to my audience, which is they want to bring 6 figures. Well, guess what, how we do it here, okay? So you want to think about, when it comes to your content, once you've got clear on who it is that you're serving, then you want to get creative when it comes to your content so it pops out. The thing is, what used to work years ago doesn't work anymore, okay? Our attention spans have changed. Our buying psychology has changed, and the way we look at content now has changed. So we have to work as business owner harder in regards to putting more effort into our content to make it stand out. Years ago, you could just post a pretty picture and it'd get tons of likes, and that was great. Years ago, it used to be all about aesthetics. As long as your page all matched up and it'd be really lovely. Now it's not about that. It's about value content. So you want to make sure that you are creating content that is speaking to your ideal client. Okay, why is this important to her? Okay, I'm just looking on a like a bird's eye view about it. Okay. Also, another thing I noticed was we had one story, okay, which you were just kind of reposting what we'd already posted. What would be really good here is when you do it as an Insta story, why should they read that? What do you want? Okay, so then maybe on your Insta story here, you'd be like, if you're feeling this, this, and this is the post for you. So then you're attracting them in to go, oh yeah, I need to check that out. And I want to see more of you. I need to see more of you. You're a personal brand. So this, a photo of you is going to build the know, like, and trust factor a lot quicker, right? Boom, now I'm seeing you. Okay, great, but that's 2 posts in. Okay, then it's a wow, oh brilliant, then I get another one of you. Good, this is a good expert one, right? You're showing yourself as the authoritative, yeah? You're saying, oh wow, she's got books, she's got a stand. Okay, great. But this isn't going to be enough. Like this content, for example, here, this would be good as an Insta story. And if you're like, oh my God, we're so excited, like behind the scenes, you could have done a whole like journey up until this point. Like, it's taken me X amount of time to get here. I started off as a dream and now I'm here. Great, because we're journeying the story. But for example, here, why does it matter to them? Remember, it's always about them. Is it because you had this big dream once that you never thought you were going to do, and now all of a sudden you've done it? Great, make it about your ideal client. And I think this comes back to knowing her so well. I say her, I'm presuming it's her, but I could be wrong, but just this is what I'm using. Knowing where she is and what you help her with, okay? So you're author, but what else do you do? I felt like there was, why did I feel like you do coaching? Yeah? No, there's something else you do. You don't not just unmute yourself. What else do you do aside the author?
So author, I've just done the business planner, which is like a big diary. I have done informed human design coaching, but I haven't started that as a coach yet. So this is the bit I'm kind of in the middle of, do I, don't I? And I do Tropic as well.
Okay, yeah, I'd keep that aside. I'd keep the Tropic aside, and I'd keep this solely focused on this. And if that is the case, and if you do just want to focus on the, the journals and the business plan, great. But we need to see that journey more. We need to speak to the other client. Why do I need a business planner? Why do I need a journal? What's my pain points? Why is this journal going to change the way my business reacts? That's what I'm going to care about. How is that journal going to affect my day-to-day life? How is it going to make me a better mom, a better business owner? That's the pain points you want to get into, okay? And I just want to check back. Just want to make sure I've done all my notes. Hold on. Yeah, so I want you to deepen the connection with the know, like, and trust. Done the bio. Oh, yeah, also I want you to use tested hashtags that your ideal client searches, follows, and uses, okay? Consistency is key, okay? When we're building our social media community, you need to be consistent. Now, I'm not saying you need to post every single day if that doesn't fit your business and your lifestyle right now. Will it help? Yeah, but as long as it's good, valuable content, okay? But what I would say, and what I say to my one-on-one clients is, pick a schedule that works for you. Like, if you can only commit to 3 times a week, post every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Do that and keep that consistent so your audience know, oh, right? Something that I did, that Fridays is like a fun Friday. If you're in Tash's world, you've got Tash Talk, the live show, and the podcast drops, and you get an email, right? So it's like a fun Friday. Guess what? I make that a thing. So I actually have people emailing me going, oh my goodness, the podcast is out today. That's what you want. You want your audience to expect, oh my goodness, she's going to post something today. If you can't post every single day, then commit to that. Let's build the algorithm. Let's make it basically our big bestie. Let's make it our PA and get us out to more people. Yeah, so the feel I got when I go into a page, it's very pretty and it's very inspirational, which I love, okay? I just think we need to work on that clarity around who our ideal client. I just feel like if we were to dial that in and get that crystal clear, I feel like making our content is going to be so much more easier and so much funner for you as well, right? Another thing is I want you standing more in your power. I can see you're playing small. I'm not seeing that badass on that social media. Yeah, we're big time hiding. Even that post where like you've got your own freaking stands. Where was you standing in the power there, girl? Do you know? Even like, for example, another thing that great for Insta stories is celebrating each win. Just sold another journal. Just sold another journal. Oh my goodness, Natasha's just bought a journal. Woohoo! And there's a screenshot of her. Like, I want to see more social proof as well. Whether that's client testimonials, your own story, share it and make these journals about a transformation, because in your head, you're selling a journal. No, you're not. As a CEO, you're selling a transformation, which then comes in the form of that. For example, if I say to you, sell the pink this, right? And you go, oh yeah, well, it's £2 and it's really good. No. If I'm like, sign this contract and it's worth £1 million, you need a pink highlight to do it, and then I'm like, this will cost you £1 million, you're going to buy the goddamn thing, right? This is the transformation. This is what's going to change your life. Okay, good. Was that helpful? Short, sweet. I probably gave you so much, but I hope that your notes are on fire. Stories I do on my phone, but all other stuff laptop and scheduled. Yes, perfect, brilliant. And also, it's so easy to, I mean, even if you commit to 4 stories, that's literally minutes out of your life that you can do every single day, girls, right? To keep sharing the behind the scenes. You're building the know, like, and trust factor. Don't forget, every time you see someone, think about a TV show that you watch. Let's say it's a reality TV show. So, okay, I'll give you a great example. News is out. My best friend is going to be on Survivor, right? It's going to be a huge TV show. It starts on Saturday. I'm not plugging it or anything, but so think about this. When people see these people out, a bit like Towie, a bit like Made in Chelsea, have you ever seen somebody and you're like, oh my goodness, it's fill in the blank of the name is. How well do you think you know that person? Like, you've been in their sitting room, haven't you? Well, they've been in your sitting room watching them every weekend. You feel like you know them because you see them so much. That's what I want you to think about your Insta stories. You want to be seen so much that someone's like, oh my goodness, I know her. Then what I want to think about, another little tip, I'm really going off a riff here, but think about associations or what people can associate with. So when people think of the word CEO, badass, they see a Pomeranian, they think of walking out in nature, they think of the word gratitude, champagne. Guess what? They think of me, right? So that's what you want to think about. Where's your association in a personal element as well as business that people can associate you with? Oh, a flamingos is another one. I get a lot of DMs around. Okay. Good. Okay, perfect. Right, moving on to the last section now, which is CEO system. And I have run out of water, so this is going to be really fun. Okay, why is CEO systems important? So that you do not have to be chained to your desk 24/7 and actually have a business that runs without you having to physically be in it. I mean, are you not tired of having to like go back and forth when you're booking in clients, or when, for example, someone's interested in something and there's no automation system, so you're going back and forth, back and forth. It just takes up too much time. Also, some people will lose interest. If you're not able to give them what they want right there and then, they may have gone. So I remember before what my life looked like, as in I was so busy working in the business, I didn't have any time to grow the business, never mind work on myself. I didn't have that time. I didn't have that freedom. I didn't plan ahead. I was doing everything so like kind of scrappily. That's not even a word. Everything I'd done was just kind of like, oh, just wing this and just try this and wing this. I had no support. And support, I mean, I didn't have a team. I didn't have any systems. And I certainly didn't have any automations. Okay. Everything was just kind of everywhere, if I'm being honest, like anything and anything goes. And and I was convincing myself, I'm being totally honest, oh, because I like to work in alignment, I just want to go with the flow. And that's all well and good, but that's not what's going to run a business. And what's the key with this is I'm a very flowy person. I can't do anything from pressure. I have to do things because it feels good to do. Like it feels fun. Showing up on a client call, I'm like so excited, right? It feels good to do. I can't fake it till you make it. Don't believe in that. So what's really important is that you have the support to be able to have that. So for example, I have a schedule where I actually schedule in time where I can just be. Do you have time in your diary where you can just be? That's your time to grow. That's your time to learn. That's your time to actually not just grow the business, but yourself, to live, right? We don't want to be so busy like, oh my God, like I don't do this every night. I'm not doing late night workshops, right? It feels good to do, so I do it. So I'm going to give you a kind of a behind the scenes of what it looked like. But now, before I show you that, now what I want to share with you is what successful scheduling looks like. So this is talking from the CEO now. I have on weeks and off weeks. What this means is I have 1 week where I'm on, and what that means is face-to-face client calls. Okay, so I batch them all into 1 week. The next week is an off week, where it means I'm still supporting my clients through Boxer, and if they're giving me stuff that they want me to review, I don't have any face-to-face client calls. And this is important because the week that's off client calls is the time that I get to work with my own coach, is the time that I actually be. I'm out living my best goddamn life, right? It's the times where I'm having soul days, soul sleepovers, CEO time, where I'm sitting down and actually working out where I want my businesses to go, how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to implement it, okay? Having that time to actually work on the business. Otherwise, girls, you'll get so busy in the day-to-day of your business that it will just stay stuck. There's only so many hours in the day, and you don't want to be tired working in the business and not on the growth, okay? Like I mentioned, I have soul days where that is just no work and it's just about me. It's connecting into my soul, what sets me alight. I'm an extrovert, but I'm very much an introvert. And how I recharge myself isn't by being around other people. It's myself. Like, I love my husband more than anything. I love my best friends. I love my family. I love my son. But how I recharge is by I love my own company. So I just take myself for a nice soul staycation in a nice hotel, stay over the night, and just enjoy my own company. Okay. Now, it doesn't have to look like this, but you can have soul days. Get yourself out in nature. Do things that are actually going to fill you up. You are your business, don't forget. So if you're not working on those things that are actually going to fill your own cup up, you're not going to have a business. You're going to feel depleted, exhausted, and just want to throw the laptop out the window, right? We don't want that. CEO days. These are the days to work on my growth of my 2 businesses. It's where I do prepping. It's how I would have prepped and planned this workshop. It's how I manage the team, grow. I have a growth plan of what I want and where I want to grow, myself included. Coaching sessions with my coach, which I mentioned. I also have something which is Money Mondays. So I have a date with money. Sit down, get my date on and go through all the financials. Something that I use is something called Profit First, which is where I pay myself first. Then I divvy out to VAT, tax, operational expenses, profit, and then operators pay, right? So I do the 5 different accounts, I do that. I also then sit and journal about the next level of wealth I want to bring in. I sit and journal about how that's going to think and going to feel. Okay, so I actually have a full-on day with money. I try and collate my coaching days to a Wednesday, so that Mondays are mainly kind of CEO days where I'm working on the business and in like other areas of it. Wednesday's like my coaching day, and then Friday's content creation days. Okay. And I do a lot of my stuff, I do batch. So when I'm doing podcasts, I do in batch. I do mainly my content, social media content, probably a week ahead. So I'm always ahead of the game. So if I get sick and I get poorly, if I still want to put content out, it's there. I haven't got to panic and feel like I'm treading water and I'm constantly just trying to keep up. You don't want to do that. Okay. Think about scaling your business. We're thinking of a CEO here. I map out my quarters, my months, and my weeks. Now, don't tell me you're not an organized person, right? Because I was also that person. Oh, I thought I was organized, and I was like, oh my goodness. I just felt like I was drowning in to-do lists. And the reason we get through this is when we get organized and just map out bigger. I'm very much a bigger picture. But when we get into the details of what we want to, let's say what your cash focus is for that month, like what are you actually selling? How are you driving sales to that? What are you promoting? What's your freebies? What's your social media? What's your podcast? You know, what's your blogs? Like you want to get so laser focused into this. And then another thing I have is non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables in your life? Not your business, your life, you. For example, mine, working out. Like, who even am I? My new identity is I work out 5 times a week. I mean, I know, get me. This is a new 3-month task, so I love it. Another non-negotiable is my morning routine. That's just, it absolutely happens. Another non-negotiable for me is I go to bed early. Like, this is way past my bedtime. Right? I get up really, really early. I get up normally around 5 a.m. But I go to bed at 9. But you have to do what works for you. Like, this isn't a cookie cutter success. You get up at 5 a.m. then you're going to make 6 figures. Like, that's not what I'm saying. When do you work best? Maybe you're a night owl. Maybe you're like, actually, I find it, I'd love to do my coaching sessions on a night time. Or I find it's more inspirational midday. Or when are you most in your zone of genius? If you're going to be, like, let's say in the afternoon, you go for a bit of a slump, that's not your time to be sitting down creating content. What works for you and your business? What are your non-negotiables? Okay. Now I want to think about, after this, I want to journal about what areas do you need to work on? How are you now going to be able to create space to step into that CEO badass for you? And let's say you're like, okay, Tash, but right now I don't have back-to-back clients. So there's no point me mapping out a whole Wednesday for that. Well, yeah, what I want you to do is I want you to get into that CEO mindset, map out that Wednesday. And if you're not filling it with clients just yet, then do it so you're actually doing needle moving activities within that time. Okay, so let's say I want you to put the energy there. So you're like, the energy there is I'm holding space for those Wednesdays to be full of clients. Let's just say, right? Or for example, for you, Susan, might be like, Wednesday is my day where I'm like packing out all my packages that are going out and deliveries. Okay, make this just adaptable to you and your businesses. And if you haven't got that right now, what can you be doing in that time to drive sales, to fill up those coaching spaces, to fill up those sales orders, to get those retainers or those containers bought into? Okay, that's what we need to do. So it's an energetic thing, but it's also a strategic thing. So let me give you an example of when somebody books in a call with me. Okay, let me get that up so you can see that. Okay, so brilliant. Everyone can see my screen, yeah? So this is what a booking form looks like. I use Calendly. And you literally click on here. I've put my availability in there probably every couple of days. I update it to fit around my schedule. Then literally my potential client will go in there. Who's looking, let's say they're looking to work with me and they're like, brilliant, yeah, they found a slot of a time they want to do. They fill it out. I ask strategic questions, because I want to make sure that where they are, if they're a right fit, are they serious? Like, are they really passionate about this? Why do they want to work with me? Those types of things. Then instantly there's an automation set up. So as soon as someone's filled out all this form, it goes to a thank you page to thank you them, and it triggers. I use email. My email supplier is Active Campaign. It triggers an email to send them out to them. Haven't done anything. Literally, someone's interested in working with me, I send them that alignment call link, everything else gets done. That then triggers my calendar, goes into my calendar and blocks out that time. So I then wake up, got notification, Susan's booked a call with you, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, boom, let's go. I jump into Zoom, everything else is being taken care of. How much time would that save in your day with using automations like this? And this is just one area of it. Another area that I used, and can I just say, yes, I've got a team now, but before I had a team, these were the things that I wish I had in place. I've had to learn this as it's kind of going on. I want you to step into that CEO role now. Stop waiting until the money comes. Stop waiting until the status or the success. Get into that now, and then you'll attract everything in a lot quicker. Okay, so let me now just get my next one up. Now, something I use to organize my team, to organize basically my whole business life, is called ClickUp. And this is what a board would look like in ClickUp. Okay, so as you can see here, this is my ClickUp. So this is how I organize, let's say, my podcast, right? So I've got a podcast document where my team have access to it, and it's where I write the show notes, where I write all my inspirational ideas, and everything that they need to then go on to do. Here's all my ideas that I've got for different podcasts, my sales focus for those months. Then I literally put in, as you can see here, literally episode by episode, what it is. Then I'll tick it, and then as you go into it, it will have some details of everything that I want to kind of notes on what I want to talk about. To be fair, I go on a lot of riffs, but it's really important I have some focus. Also for my team, for them to go in and be like, okay, brilliant, that's where she's at. Then, for example, if I want to move it around, go, actually, no, I want to do it that week. It's so easily done. And then I know, oh, brilliant, this is what I need to record. Okay, that's my next, there's a little sneak peek into the next episode of Tash Talk. So it's all planned and mapped out. So not only is it easy for me to go in and see it, but it's also really easy for my team to go in and see it. And they're like, okay, yep, we know exactly where she is and what she's doing. As you can see here, I also do it for clients. So I have different clients. So my Power Hour clients, I have my one-on-one clients that are either with me for a month and a half, 3 months, 6 months, okay? All mapped out. And then what I do within them is checklists. So for example, has the contract been sent to them? Have they received the welcome email? That's all automated. My team has literally just got, I'll message my team. You can interplace team with yourself. You know, message your team, brilliant new client, these are the details, then it goes off, they send the contract off, and that's all automated. Okay, so you want to think about how you can streamline your business even more, so it makes so much more, it leverages your time so much more. So I do this for clients. I also do this, for example, with my team. They all have different tasks that they want to do, and we can move it around. You can also use it as a communication board, which is great. So when you, for example, I can put comments in here, I can like tag and add the different, assign the tasks to different members of my team. Another thing that's really, really, I mentioned about the clients, for example, I also then map out my ideas of like what I want to be focusing on, what my sales focus are for the months, for the quarters, and for the weeks, okay? Like I mentioned, I use Active Campaign for my email provider. So much of my emails are then automated. I just want to make sure that I haven't. Yeah, okay, perfect. Oh yeah, that was the launch one I wanted to show you. Yeah, it'll be just another example. And this is also how I would then map out a launch. And this is what I get my clients to do. So as you can see, here's one of my launches that I was doing, ideas and numbers, then everything that I want to do in the pre-launch that are there, everything's updated, ready to go. Then everything that I'm doing in launch week, all the reminder emails, so literally you can click in, you've got the picture, you've got the email of everything that I want to go into the to that particular launch email. then what's happening in car open week, what's happening in the lives, the masterclasses, additional lives that I want to do, any ad hoc jobs, and social media posts, outreach, all of that. So it's all mapped out for me. Okay. So before I'm even thinking about, and I don't want you to think, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. You do it once and you just rinse and repeat it. I literally would just click next launch and then click it again. And I think when you get so, when you're strategically planning, if you already know what you're doing next month, well, guess what? On those times, those weeks that you're working on your business, you're mapping that out for next month. And I just want to say, I still have flow in my business. I still have, sometimes I have an idea and I'm like, I'm just going to roll with it. And my team are probably a bit like, oh, what do you mean? But it feels good to do. And I'm just like, just going to freaking do it. Like, for example, when I done the power hours, that wasn't strategically planned. I just had this divine download to do it. I'm like, brilliant. For example, this workshop wasn't planned months in advance. So of course I have space in my diary to have these downloads to then implement this, right? Does that make sense? So it's kind of like you've got to strategically plan to have the time and the space, because if you're so busy working your business, where's the downloads coming from? Where's the inspiration coming from? Where's the, oh, that feels really good, I'm going to flow with that? You're not going to have any time because you're like, I'm so worked under. Okay. And think about when you're scaling your business, can you scale your business to 6 figures one-on-one? Yes, you absolutely can, right? I've helped clients do it. I'm going to say something a little bit controversial, but is it the best way to do it? I mean, it depends, okay? You only have so many hours in the day. And I just see it as the way I serve my clients is you can come into a group program and it's at this price point, or you can come and work with me one-on-one and it's this price point, okay? The energies are different, the touch points are different. Of course, then the amount that you charge, the investment's very, very different. So you want to be thinking about what are you doing in your business when we think about your product suite that actually sets you alight, that actually makes it fun for what you're doing. Don't do things because you're told on social media to do it. Don't do things because that, well, I better do a membership because that's the only way I can scale to 6 figures. I better do an online course because everyone's talking about that. What do you want to do? That's why people are gonna buy from you. They feel your energy, they're excited. When people say they feel it when I'm talking about my one-on-ones, or like when I'm talking about conscious coach, or when I'm talking about online course, because I feel it. I'm not doing something because I have to do it, right? So I know I've spoke for a lot. I know, don't worry, you're going to get the replay. I was considering not having a replay, but I think I've just given so much. You're going to be all like, oh my goodness, yes, Tesh, can we just please have a freaking replay? And I did have so many people message me saying, please, I can't make that time, can I have the replay? I'm like, I did say I can't promise it, but I'm putting it out there. There will definitely be a replay. I wanted to give you an insight and for you to experience what it's like to come into the magical, amazing, crazy, let's get freaking result, energetic world of Natasha Clark. I mean, you know, Laura, for example, Laura's one of my incredible one-on-one clients. Like this, you know, I love what I do, and it's really, I'm so freaking passionate about it. And my goal is to help you get to your goal, right? And that's why I wanted to give you this experience of what it's like to come into my world and tap, like literally just touch the surface of the work that we're going to do. And like I mentioned, I'm going to leave a link for you to inquire about working one-on-one with me, right? I'm going to put that into the chat box, but let me tell you what that could potentially look like. Like, don't just book, listen first. I have different options for different things. So for example, it starts at a power hour, okay? So this is a 90-minute intensive call where we can work on either shifting a limiting belief that you have, or we can use it for strategy. That's kind of the first thing. That's probably the lowest investment, which starts at 500, right? Then we have my one package, which is my activate package, which is 1500. This, I won't give you all the details now, but I'm just going to kind of give you a brief. And then if you're interested, we can jump on the call. You can send me a DM and we can have a chat there. That's a month and a half. Then we have the up level, which is a 3 month. And then I've got my 6 month, right? Which is the CEO badass package. Different things for different people. It's going to feel very different for you. But what I want you to do is I want you to sit and think about and sit into the CEO and make a decision from that. Do you want to stay where you are right now, or are you ready to up level? Are you ready to take that next step to smash through these limiting beliefs, to really shift into that CEO identity that I know there's a reason you're on this workshop. You've got it in you. I know you're good at what you do. You know, to be fair, I might have stalked a lot of you. That's why I asked for your Instagram handle, right? I want to check you out. I want to see the amazing women that are coming into my world. I know you're good at what you do, and I know you just need that shift. We just need to accelerate now to that next level. And the best place to come to that is to come and work with me one-on-one. Now, I just want to put it out. Does anybody have any questions that they want to put into the chat box? They absolutely can. Or if you'd rather than just send me a DM that you've got a personal question, you can also do that. And if no one's got any questions, then I will love you and leave you. But I'll just give you a couple more seconds. If anyone's got a question, or just give me a hand wave if anyone's got any questions about anything that we've covered tonight. No, we're good? Brilliant. Okay, lastly then, I'd love you to put into the chat box how you found this workshop. Any light bulb moments, any aha moments? Has it blown your goddamn mind? Are you not going to be able to sleep tonight? Oh, let me just read some comments there. I use Asana, yes. Used with me and my team, yes. Very similar to ClickUp, yes it is. And I believe Monday is another one that you can use. I love the organisation, thank you. You make me feel like I am the only client the way you deliver. Mwah. I can love you. Best one of the workshops I've ever done. Thank you. Love, love, love. Yes, really helpful. Sorry guys, I think it's where it's so dark in here. I've got my contacts in, but I'm like struggling to hold on. Let me see if my laptop's, yeah, it's up. It's that is brightest. Oh my God, thank you so much, Tash. Oh, you're very welcome. So helpful and inspiring. Yes, very helpful. Good, brilliant. Right, I will look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. The replay will go out in the email with some more details about how you can book your call. Any questions at all, you follow me on Instagram. Come send me a DM. Love a lot. I hope you're all going to have an amazing evening, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.